Good morning, everyone. My name's Tom Rice. I'm the Senior Legal Director at Travel Perk, and I'm absent today, a wingman, Alex Herity, who has a minor illness. Excited to be here. I'll present solo. And one thing I think we've been listening to this last week, and I've really enjoyed the last few days at this conference, is we've been hearing a lot about automation. We've been hearing a lot about optimization. And we've been hearing a lot about efficiency. Now, one thing we say at Travel Perk is nobody gets out of bed for efficiency. And that might be slightly provocative, but what we mean by that is efficiency is an outcome. It's actually a byproduct of an endeavor. And what is that endeavor? You tend to find it's a passion. It's a passion for what we do that fosters a resilience to withstand any headwinds that we encounter. And that encourages us to be creative and push the boundaries of the possible with respect to our work and our careers. Now, Alex and I wanted to focus this talk on three key messages that we believe have been instrumental to how we approach innovation and growth in our teams at Travel Perk and Adidas. So, 1, passion isn't just a nice to have. 2, the environment we create matters more than the tools we deploy. And 3, small, meaningful progress fuels momentum that technology itself and alone can't create. But before we dive deeper into each of those 3 things, let's look at some shared commonalities we all have at this particular moment in time. First, the barriers to innovation in this profession have never been lower. No-code tools, community knowledge sharing forums such as Clock, and a culture for experimentation has made everything faster, cheaper, more agile. And generative AI has expanded the art of the possible. What we thought might be fantastical 18 months ago is now within our reach. Second, we've been hearing all week, everyone here is a passionate problem solver. And therefore, legal ops professionals are underrated innovators. And this combination makes us uniquely positioned to drive meaningful change. But as we've just heard, there are heightened expectations on all of us to not just innovate, but to demonstrate that innovation in a tangible, measurable way. So with these opportunities and pressures, how do we find signal amidst the noise? And how do we dedicate our focus to projects worth pursuing? I will now actually have to read quite verbatim because Alex wanted to share a personal story with you. So earlier in his career, Alex, who's now an esteemed legal ops director at Adidas, was a lawyer. And he found himself confronting an annual nightmare, creating over 2,000 manual customer documents that spanned across the legal, finance, and sales teams, taking months to complete. Alex could recognize that all the constituent components to seamless connection were already in place, whether it be templates from legal or data in Excel spreadsheets from finance, but it needed someone curious enough to bring those things together. So after many late nights watching YouTube tutorials, scouring VBA forums, acquiring new skills, and revealing new opportunities, the Adidas Excel to Word document generator was born. And what started as a frustration or pain that Alex personally felt evolved into a passion project, something that Alex obsessed over solving. But what Alex wants to emphasize to you is the technology wasn't the catalyst. The drive to solve a meaningful problem was, and it allowed him to find ways around constraints that would have otherwise stopped him. Now this brings us to our second key message. The environment we create matters more than the tools we deploy. At Travel Perk, we've learned that technology alone doesn't drive the transformation. What matters is the environment in which it's deployed and connecting that to people's intrinsic motivations. And here are a few approaches that we found effective. Normalizing curiosity. And what do I mean practically by that? I mean creating safe spaces for people to ask questions like why or what if, and not be perceived to be challenging the status quo. Creating headroom for creative work. Passion tends to require space to breathe. So whether that's a monthly innovation day or a blocked Wednesday morning, these pockets of time can yield outsized returns when people focus on problems that they actually want to solve. I've talked before about connecting people to purpose. But perhaps most importantly, it's about sharing wins loudly. Celebrate experimentation, regardless of outcome. When someone takes initiative, make it visible. It tends to create a virtuous cycle where innovation can become contagious. Finally, we both fundamentally believe that, and our key message here is that small, meaningful progress fuels momentum that technology in and of itself can't create. We're living through a profound moment of professional change. The technologies emerging around us aren't just enhancing our existing workflows, they're challenging the fundamental economics and organisation of our services. So in this environment, passion helps to navigate moments of uncertainty and disruption. It provides the resilience to experiment, fail, learn, but most importantly, move forward. I'd like to leave you with a question to consider. What's one broken process or persistent problem in your world that you actually care about solving? And if someone in your team tried to tackle it tomorrow, would they feel safe to try? The answer will reveal a lot about the innovation culture you've built or contribute to building. So as we wanted to wrap up, let me circle back to each of those three key messages. Passion isn't just a nice to have. When we align our work with problems we genuinely care about solving, persistence will follow naturally. And the environment we create matters more than the tools we deploy. The most sophisticated technology falters in environments where curiosity isn't valued and experimentation feels risky. Small, meaningful progress fuels momentum that technology alone can't create. The future belongs to those who give themselves permission to start, even if that beginning is humble. So legal ops professionals are wired to solve problems. And in a world where the barriers to innovation have dropped so low, the question probably isn't whether we can transform the work and impact of our teams. It's whether we can create the conditions where this endeavour can truly flourish. Thank you.